What is the quote from Phantom Menace when they see Darth Maul and they're like, now there are two of them. We got twice as many Shyamalan movies now. It's great.
Well, that was a movie.
Hello, welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on The Watchers, the debut feature film by new director Ashana Shyamalan, the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan. It's also based on a book by A.M. Shine, Morning Shine. And in case you haven't seen the trailer, you don't know what it's about. Dakota Fanning plays a girl who gets lost in the woods, ends up finding these other people that are in this box that has a giant one-way window / mirror where every night the Watchers come and watch them, and they can't leave, they can't escape, but they're being watched. And right off the bat from the trailer, it looked like it was going to be like an allegorical horror movie, a commentary pretty clearly on... I saw some people online say, oh, it's a commentary on social media. I'm like, pretty sure that's a TV box that we're talking about. And so that's kind of what it seemed like it was going for. And so I had reasonably high expectations, actually, because I'm like, all right, M. Night Shyamalan, I know what he's known for. He's got the cheesy endings, the plot twists that don't need to be there, really bad dialogue, all of these things. Clearly, his daughter's grown up in the social media generation. She's seen everybody and their mother make fun of her dad. She's going to learn the lessons, take the good from her dad, and go in a different direction. And, you know, allegorical horror, first of all, something her dad never did. He always kind of was straightforward until the inevitable stupid plot twist. So she's gonna do something much more clever and original, right? Even though it's based on a book, right? Right?
I'm shocked you had that much hope to begin with.
I don't know why I did. I don't want to say that this movie is like the worst movie I've ever seen, or even like the worst Shyamalan movie I've ever seen. It's far from that. It's just, what really bugs me about it is how much potential it had and how much it wasted it, I guess. But what were your main thoughts coming out of this?
So, first off, going in, I'd seen the trailers. I did not remember it was anything related to Shyamalan, his daughter, until you reminded me the movie was coming out. And then I looked it up and realized, oh, he has kids. Yeah. And they're doing things. Yeah, I didn't really have any hope beforehand or after that. Actually, I had a little less hope after that. I mean, first-time director, I can't completely hold her dad against her until we see it. So now I can.
And also my thought was, you know, Shyamalan's first two movies were his best two. So
That's
it's
fair.
like, she's got to start out being good, right? You'd think, and then fall off.
See, but that's not how it works. You see, he had the good two, and now we just carry through generation to generation. Those are the only good two.
It's a generational curse. It's just we're trapped here.
The other daughter, she got out of it. She makes music. I don't know how that music is, but she's not making movies. So,
it's in the other M. Night Shyamalan movie. Got released today. Weirdly enough, they released the first single for that movie soundtrack today.
Okay, that wasn't just her first single, was it? Cause
I have no idea.
That'd be a wild career launch in the same year. It's like my first... one daughter's,
Justin.
I know, but like, at the same time? Damn. we got the movie,
all my children.
We got the directorial debut at the same time as we're making the music debut. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like that, it's already hot in here.
Yeah,
so.
very.
Alright, sorry about the sound, but...
I'm not.
Okay. It's actually pretty quiet over here.
Damn bird.
It's not that bad. But movie, though.
Yeah, no, movie. It was interesting it was horrible from the start, but it was I was curious enough about the box.
Yeah, I think...
keep me entertained until I learned about the box.
I think you could divide the movie into three sections. The pre-box, box, and post-box.
Fair.
Pre-box, awful.
Terrible.
God awful.
So like, funnily bad.
It's just like, she learned how to write dialogue from her dad. I'll put it that way. Inbox had its moments. Not good, not great, but like it kept it interesting at times. Like I said, there was a lot of really good ideas in here, and like I said, it was based on a book, and I was actually wondering until I looked up the book synopsis afterward. It reminded me of when I watched Old by M. Night Shyamalan, where I was like, this had some really good ideas, and then it was terrible. What happened? And then I read the book and went, oh, it was a really good book, and then M. Night Shyamalan adapted it. So I was like, maybe that's what happened again. No, it seems like most of the fundamental flaws in this movie were also flaws in the book too, so I don't know why you would adapt it. But anyway, In the Box was...
Because it's got a very Shyamalanian twist.
Yeah, In the Box was okay. It was very Shyamalan In the Box. And then Post Box was actually interesting. And I'm like, why is the last 20 minutes of this movie the best part of the movie? What are we doing? Why did that happen? So it did get better as it went. I will give it that. The movie got better as it went. But you're right, it started in such an abysmally low point that, I mean, it started in like 3 to 2 star territory.
Yeah.
And when I say it got good at the end, the best it got was like in the 6s, 2 light 7s. So that still evens out to me being overall like a 4 or a 5 overall. Probably a 5 because it's more forgettable than anything. But
I can give it a 5, but I'll never forget the line, what are you running from?
There was just so much terrible dialogue and exposition out the wazoo. Like, it's just crazy where, like, you know, you make fun of when 2 characters are talking and they're like, you know, our dad, who we both know because we're brothers, that kind of dialogue. She did that, but not only did she do that, she said it to herself, then she said it to a parrot, and then she said it in a voicemail from her sister. And it's like, we didn't need to know your mom had been dead 15 years 3 times.
No, and then they repeated the voicemail.
Yeah.
3 minutes later.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! And there's just like, there were so many things that maybe in the book it's fleshed out a little bit more. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. Where it's like, early on, pre-box, we have this Dakota Fanning character giving her best performance since The Cat in the Hat. And she is like, alright, bird, because I'm talking to you because I'm a loser. I'm going out, try not to die, which then they keep making the parrot say that over and over and over again, obviously, because a horror movie and creepy parrot talking. And so she goes out clubbing, but she like puts on a wig and pretends she's not from there, which is weird because like her accent was already like kind of a bad Irish accent, and then they're like, oh, you're not American, or you're not Irish, you're American. And then she's like, you're right, I'm a ballerina from like Oklahoma or somewhere random. And then she's like, what? I pretend to be other people because I don't like myself. And you're like, oh, okay, where are we going with that plot line? Because obviously she's going to be spending a good portion of this movie acting in front of an audience, right? We'll never talk about it again. We'll never mention that again. That could have been an interesting character arc, but no. No.
Hey, we may not have mentioned the disguises and going out, but we mentioned she doesn't like herself.
We did talk about that some more, you're right. And maybe that was some sort of allusion to a spoiler I can't talk about yet. But if it was, they didn't openly make a connection. And if this was an intelligent movie, then I would say, okay, that was one more subtle thing they did. But the movie is not subtle in any regard, other than a couple of cool horror moments. Like, there's a couple of cool, really cool moments where it's like, oh, somebody was in the background, and the characters don't even notice it. That's cool. That is more subtle. That is more artistic than M. Night Shyamalan has ever been. So I'll give his daughter that. And maybe it's the cinematographer. I don't know. But there was more artistic moments in this movie than the entirety of Shyamalan's career combined. So maybe there's hope for her if she doesn't follow the trajectory of her dad, where it gets worse every movie and actually gets better like normal directors do. Maybe she's actually got a promising career ahead of her, because the directing wasn't terrible, the cinematography was good, and there was ideas here that could have been good in a better movie. So I'll say the same thing that I always say about Shyamalan. get a writer to help you. Get a writer to help you, because there's ideas at play here that aren't bad. You just don't know how to write dialogue, and you don't know how to wrap up a story. Actually, hell, the wrap up was the best part. She is the anti-Shyamalan. Hold on. Hold on.
She's gonna be all right.
My head hurts all of a sudden. It was like every other Shyamalan movie where the more you know, the less you care and like it.
That's the best part of the box, is the mystery. Still
yeah. And so I said it to you. She gets into the box 20, 30 minutes into the movie, and then everything you need to know about that's interesting happens within the next 5 minutes. Everything that's in the trailer happens within the next 5 minutes. So I check my watch and go, this movie's an hour 40 some minutes.
Yeah.
We're half an hour to 40 minutes in. What are we gonna do for the next hour? I asked that to you, and we were just like, I don't know. And unfortunately, the answer was nothing good. Like with that premise, at least. Like I said, post box, some good stuff happens a little bit. But the box was such a wasted concept. It was. And like I said, I went into this going, this is going to be allegorical horror. We're making commentary. This is clearly commentary. They also make it very obvious within the first 5 minutes of them being in the box that it is commentary. And then what? And we'll get into that in spoilers, but like what? It was for nothing.
Hey, they made commentary, and then they moved on.
Barely.
They made a comment, and then they moved on.
Yeah, they made one singular comment, then let you know, we're making commentary. And then shut up.
We made commentary.
We made comment. Singular.
Yeah.
I was so intrigued by, like, what are we going to say about society?
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about the fact that we're, well, not we, but if you went in the social media route, it could be we, or if you're talking actors, people, performers, what are we doing with this commentary? Where are we going? What are we saying? No, just, we're saying, we're commenting, people are in boxes entertaining other people. That's it.
Yeah. Did get in line?
I hate how good of an idea, how good of a premise that is, and then they did nothing with it. Nothing. That's not even the point of the movie, in case you're wondering. You thought the whole point was watchers? They even called them watchers in the movie, and then it's like, whoa, they're in the box, what else could be happening? Boring shit.
Getting watched.
M. Night Shyamalan shit is what happened.
See, this is why I had no expectations.
I want to watch a good horror movie with you. I know we saw the Late Night with the Devil. That was barely horror.
Yeah, they haven't been scary at all.
I want to prove to you horror movies can be good. It's just every time we've gone, we've whiffed. You will become a horror fan eventually, I swear. But maybe not this year.
I'm gonna doubt that, but maybe I'll really, really like a horror film.
Maybe you'll really like that Russell Crowe Exorcist movie.
Of course.
That looks fantastic.
Incredible.
I had a thought near the end of this movie, because I don't like Dakota Fanning. Never have, never will. I thought, like, a lot of those child actors, they're considered good child actors because they don't overact, they underact. And so they're like, look, such a stoic child. The same thing happened with that annoying guy who's like the good doctor now. I forget his name. They're not good actors, they're just boring. And so people go, oh, look, they can deliver adult dialogue, and so therefore they're good child actors. That was Dakota Fanning. So now that she's an adult, you're like, oh, she's just a boring bad actor. And so I was just thinking, what if it was like Florence Pugh or somebody? Like, what if there was a good actor in here that I could care about? It wouldn't save the whole movie, but it would have made it more interesting.
Yeah, it might knock it up a point.
Yeah, I'd give a point for Flo.
Yeah, this is what he gets for going into these movies with expectations.
With hope.
Yeah.
I really
Never
did.
have hope.
I don't know why I did. The trailer's good. It's a good trailer. I'll give him that. The trailer had me at least partially fooled. I don't want to say like, oh, I thought this is movie of the year caliber, but I was like, this could be a 7. That's what I thought. I thought it could be a 7. I actually said to my friend the other day, like, I hope this is better than anything Shyamalan's ever made, just to like rub it in his face. Thought that would have been great. No. It was not.
How many movies has Shyamalan had right now, or so far?
At least 10.
So, like, on her 9th and 10th film, she's gonna make masterpieces. If she's the anti-Shyamalan.
One can hope. One can hope. I don't know, if this is as bad as she gets, then great work, you know. This is not The Happening, you know. This is nowhere close to The Happening. This is not Mark Wahlberg going, what? No, it's not that. Nor is it Avatar. It's not that.
Oh, good.
That's what we had to think spoiler-free. We are going to get into spoilers, I'm assuming for a while. We'll see. So if you don't want anything spoiled, you should click away, come back after you've seen the movie, and we can talk about it then. But also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new here. Thanks, guys. Bye. I'm dying.
Terrible.
So, spoilers. Okay. So like I said, this movie, it makes you think from the trailer, and even from the beginning of the movie, that this is going to be an allegorical horror about, you know, commentary, something vaguely about society being controlled by or obsessed with watching people on TV. Yep. They even have the moment where the one thing that they have to watch in this box is a DVD of not Jersey Shore, Jersey Shore. I don't know if it's a real show or not. I didn't recognize it, but maybe it's a UK thing.
It seems like some UK couples dating house show.
Yeah, something.
Netflix is probably making it now or something.
Yeah, and so you're going like, okay, that's blatantly, like, they're hitting you over the head, obvious that this is commentary now. Like, no subtlety involved, which was like, oh my god, all right, commentary.
Right over the head.
But then the moment they do that, then they stop making it out
they
that.
made the comments.
And it was like, wait, but wait. You need to have commentary. You can't just say, oh, there's a point. Okay, bye. Like, there has to be a point, though. Like, and from that moment on, it stops being about the watchers watching. It's just, oh, but we want to escape, and there's evil people out there. It loses all semblance of allegory and just becomes horror, and not good horror. And fuck your lights. Maybe we should. I don't know. Fuck. Where was I? I had a point. But maybe I shouldn't even talk about it because I know I had a point, and that's all that matters. But so it's like, after they show her watching it, they never bring it up again. And there's, like, you see it in the trailer, it's a really cool start to it. Because they're like, alright, you have to get up in front of the mirror. Oh, what's that sound? That's them applauding. That's the applause. And you're like, ooh, what a cool concept. What's going on? Where's this going? Fairies! That's where it's going.
Not just fairies. Deformed monster wingless fairies.
Wingless fairies, because they forgot them.
Yes.
They lost their wings.
They've been on the ground for a while.
Yeah. We're running for our life. We're running for our life. Oh, look, let's talk about history for a while. Running for our life. That was my favorite.
Yeah. No. Just skip all the movie. They find a way out of the woods eventually. And they're running to a boat. But they need to get out before nightfall hits.
Don't be distracted by anything.
Because
do not be distracted by anything.
They're going to come after them, and they're clearly much faster than them.
And know exactly where they are and where they're going for some reason.
So of course the older woman who's teaching them all the rules of the place and all the lessons they need to learn to survive, tells them, don't get distracted, don't turn around, run to the boat. We need to get there as fast as we can, straight out.
Or we won't make it.
So they pass by this one big tablet displaying, I guess, the fairies, and she's like, right here, the fairies were buried. This is where they were imprisoned.
Yeah.
This time ago. Let me tell you about the fairies.
This is where they were imprisoned. And there was a pause in the dialogue, which was just enough time for you to go, what? And I lost.
Fairies.
Because it was like, not only is the pacing awful, because he said, we're running. So let's talk about fairies.
Wait.
We're running. But also, just, they had no mention this entire time of the history of elves and that they're imprisoned. We're just like, oh, this is their territory, so they rule this area, so you follow their rules or they're gonna fuck you up. That's all they said up until this point. And now they're like, so, fairies were imprisoned for years. And you're like,
yeah.
What? Why? Who? How? When? And so it's
Long ago.
so random and like, oh, this is the door that imprisoned them. And you're like, time out. What? What?
They were underground, right?
Because that's where they live.
And you were wondering why they were underground, right? Right? So
because they die when they come up.
we had to explain that on the way out. Come on.
Roxanne already explained this to you.
That's the door that
when his hand
imprisoned them.
dissolved.
That's the door that imprisoned them. I guess they broke out the other doors, but that one's still around for us to look at.
So stupid. The movie was so lame after that, because it's like, going back to the original point after we got distracted on that tangent, but it was like, you had such a cool premise of like, oh, it's this, commentary on society, some form of it. No, but it's just a horror movie about fairies now.
Yeah.
Which is lame, because fairies, like...
They're evil fairies. They're
Yeah.
like 10 feet tall fairies.
Yeah, they're very stretchy.
They move around on all fours because they crawled through the earth, probably. They weren't allowed to stand up for years. Except for those big caverns they made. But
And they steal bicycles and video cameras and stuff.
they're learning about humans to
Yeah.
mimic us.
Right.
We'll get to that, but one thing I thought about getting distracted on our tangents. The old woman got that guy killed. That pause got him killed.
Yeah, well, to be fair, to explain the pause in general, turns out she is a halfling. She is half a fairy, and doesn't give a shit about them. So why was she helping them escape at all? Because half of her's a good guy? I don't know. That's kind of the BS they give at the end.
Yeah. At least she had her little, I just used you to escape. It's like, okay, yeah.
You could have just,
Yeah.
after you heard the recording, you could have just left in the night by yourself and gone, if you didn't care about the people.
They don't like her. She's a halfling.
No, I think they're fine with her. They never say that.
Didn't she say like they were like unkind to me? They were like, they called me so and so, the Daywalker.
Yeah, Roxanne.
Yeah.
Which I keep saying Roxanne because if you haven't seen the movie, at one part they're like, the main character, Dakota Fanning, goes down into the thing, which is when I mentioned everybody's stupid, and then she goes down into the thing, just be like, you've never seen one? Let's go! And so she climbs down into their little anthill, and then as she's like, oh, there's a bike here, take the bike out instead of me, because this won't lead to anything bad. Then you hear one of them crawling up behind her, and she turns around, and you just see some fingers come into the light, and he goes, I am Roxanne, is what it sounds like. And I'm not sure what they said. I think it was in a different language, but it really sounded like I'm Roxanne. So that's why I keep referring to her as Roxanne. But yeah, it was just painfully stupid how the characters would act, like, and they kind of throw it away by saying the woods makes you act stupid, but everybody acts stupid. And so like Dakota Fanning is like, oh, why are there all these rules? I don't believe any of them. And you're like, why? You've been dropped into this location where people monsters are watching you, and it's terrifying, and everybody's acting terrified of these monsters, and you go, you're saying you've never seen one? No, because everybody who does dies. I don't believe you. Why not, you moron? And they're like, don't go in there. And she's like, I'm gonna go in there. Don't take their shit. I'm gonna take their shit. And then, yeah, everything she does is stupid. It's just,
Listen, skepticism is always the right answer.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Don't trust
They
Big
say there's
Brother.
monsters in that hole. Get down there and check. And if you don't come back, well, then I know there's some monsters down there. So thanks for checking.
Yeah, I won't check. You can check. though.
God damn. That's why you're the skeptic.
Oh my god. It's just, yeah, it devolved in such a basic, stupid horror movie. PG-13 horror movie. Like, there's no real violence. There's not, like, you don't see
Not blood or
anything
anything,
scary.
no.
It's just like the idea of it, which isn't necessarily bad in theory, because sometimes the illusion to something scary is often scarier. Like I said, there's like moments she's walking in the woods. This is pre-box, actually, I think. Maybe it is box. I forget which era it is in. But like, she's walking and you see somebody past her in like a red sweater or an orange sweater walking. And you're like, oh shit, who's that? And then she turns the other way and there's a little girl in a dress. They never even reference the guy in the sweater. I was like, that was cool. Like, that's subtle. That's alluding to something without addressing it. And it's like, so when you do stuff like that, you can, I mean, that scene of itself is PG. It's G. There's nothing scary. There's nothing, like, R-rated about that moment. And it's, like, the coolest shot in the movie. So it's like, you don't have to be R-rated to make it a good horror movie. I don't mean that it has to be. But, like, I don't know, there wasn't any punch to it in the end. Like, there was no big, like, there was a reveal. You eventually see them, and they're not scary at all. Interesting concept, I guess, but, like...
The fairies!
I take it back. It's not an interesting concept. I don't like it. I don't like the fairies. Especially when, like, maybe if it was its own thing, cool. But, like, you're calling them the Watchers, and it's like, it's this cool, like... I keep saying it, but everything that I thought this movie was going to be is so much cooler than everything it actually was.
Yeah. My favorite line of the whole movie, while they're just on the road, nothing's been explained yet. We're like maybe 10 minutes into this movie. Yeah. And she just turns and looks at the bird in the cage and goes, "What are you running from?"
Yeah. But before that, even before that, so we cut, like, from her being in the, you know, the nightclub lying about her job as a ballerina, which she also is bad at lying, because he asks her, "What do you do?" and she says, "A dancer." And he goes, "Oh, really?" And then she goes, "A ballerina." No ballerina ever refers to themselves as a dancer. That's a very different thing.
Hey, he's looking to get laid. He don't give a fuck. But lie to me if you want to.
But anyway, she goes from that to then she's driving, she looks in the rearview mirror at the camera and goes like, "Yeah, so you wouldn't do that?" And it's like...
Yeah, but it was like the next morning. She got in the car.
Yeah.
It's just out of fucking nowhere. I hated that.
And she just kept talking to the bird. And then, so, okay. She drives into the woods. Fairy magic shuts her car down. Puts some Gaelic symbols on her radio. And she gets out. And she goes... Actually, before the car breaks down, she's just driving in the woods. And she goes, "Come on, you stupid fucking car." And you're like... Car's fine. Yeah. Nothing was happening to the car. The car, when it shuts down eventually, is due to magic. There was no lead up to it. It wasn't like it was like sputtering. Nothing.
Clearly, since the car disappeared as soon as she turned away from it, the fairies just wanted a car to drive around.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to drive
like
out there
bikes.
in the real world.
They love cars. Yeah. But anyway, she gets out of the car and she goes, "What's going on? Where am I? What's happening? This is weird. Oh shit, I'm lost. Maybe there's somebody near." It's like, shut up and just look around. Like, you know, like, you don't have to be narrating this entire experience.
But what's going through her mind?
Yeah, I would have never known if she wasn't telling me every second.
What would I do if I was lost in the woods? What would I think? Dakota, tell me.
I wouldn't be saying anything. I'd be like, the car breaks down and go, "Ah, fuck." You get out. Oh, okay. Hello, help. That part makes sense. After that, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I like how she immediately picks a direction and just starts wandering, and then it's like,
sees the sign. She sees a sign and goes, "I think that means people are near." She tells the bird that. She goes, "I think people are near," because she saw the sign and walks that way. And it's like, you have zero survival skills, which we also saw in the flashback of her as a child. Very weird child. Whole family has zero survival skills.
Oh my gosh. Like, her whole reason for hating herself this whole movie is because she got her mom killed in a car accident as a kid.
Her mom killed.
And I have seen this exact style of thing happen for someone's trauma many times over. Jessica Jones did it much better. Jessica Jones did it much better. Her mom decides to go for a drive, so they're on the open country road, driving along, and the kid rolls the window down, sticks her hand out, doing the wind move thing. We all did it. I guess her mom was worried about her hair, so she told her to roll the window up. And the girl
immediately rolls it up.
Yeah, and the girl didn't like that. As the mom's rolling the window up, she sticks her hand into the window to grab onto it. But she's weak, and the car then goes and starts to crush her fingers.
Hold on, you are making this, believe it or not, better than it was. You are. So she says, "Oh, you can't roll down the window. What are you trying to mess up my hair?" Immediately rolls up the window.
Yeah.
and then goes, "Why can't you ever listen? You never listen."
That's true. I forgot.
And I'm like,
That's-
but nothing bad happened.
you never listen.
And then because she says the mean thing to her daughter retaliates by mimicking her
Yep.
and then rolling the window back down. I'm like, why can't you ever listen? Puts it down, sticks her fingers out the window again, and then her mom rolls it back up. She leaves her fingers there, and they start getting crushed. So then she goes, "What are you doing? What is this?" And runs directly into another car. And then we end the flashback there. When we come back to the flashback, her mom has been ejected from the car forward about 50 feet.
Yep. Gotta wear that seatbelt.
Where's the other car? It was a head-on collision.
Listen, this is like a small country road. You know, I don't know if you ever seen like
Where's this going, Justin?
like shows like
Explanation, please.
Breaking Bad's got a lot of these roads, all right? You
Okay.
know, so that it's like really long in a straight line, and there's
Okay.
like 2 lanes,
Right.
but then there's like desert off to the side or whatever. So
Okay.
it's just it's just over there somewhere, just off screens over there.
All
somewhere.
that to say that the car disappeared.
It's over there somewhere.
It was a head-on collision.
They collided,
With,
and then
like,
it went over there
a
somewhere.
Mack truck or something.
Yeah, no, that thing should have flattened the fucking. They should all be dead.
And it's whatever kind of truck. It's taller than their car.
Oh no, it should like
If you're being ejected, you are bouncing off that like a backboard
you
coming
are
back
going into the freaking. Like I've seen some. I've been
They're
in.
using the windshield wipers to squeegee you off.
I've been
You
in a
are
couple.
toast.
I've been in a couple of slow speed bus collisions back when I used to ride a school bus,
Sure.
and those always fucked up the cars they hit.
Yeah.
With no scratches on those buses.
Yeah.
That fucking truck should have flattened the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I guess
but-
that's where it went. It just drove right over top and kept going.
See, and then off to the side over there.
But how was she over there? She go all the way through the truck?
see, they collided, right, and then they spun off each other, and then the truck went that way. And as her car spun around, she was ejected from the windshield onto the ground, so that the car ended up over here, so that the daughter would be over here.
What I think happened is there's a whole extra 15 minutes in between that they cut for time,
definitely.
where the mom, after the crash, undid her seatbelt, got out and said, "This is your fault. I hate you. You're a terrible daughter." And she's like wandering away and then collapsed. And that lasted for like 15 minutes
Wait.
of her blaming her daughter for everything.
I like a second car that just comes along, hits the mom, pushes her that way, and then ends up over there as well.
It wasn't a second car. It was a truck backing onto the road off the desert that it went into, apparently.
You're right. It was a hit and run.
Oh shit. Get out of here. Let's talk about the I did mention Postbox had a couple of cool moments.
Yep.
So the whole movie, not the whole movie, once you know that there's shapeshifters involved,
Changeling.
okay, there's going to be either
See me change.
there's going to be a changeling amongst them, whether it's when they go down into the basement or it's one that's been there the whole time. You just know one of them is going to be a changeling. They go into the basement, there's nobody there, so it's one of them, and you just know that. And then you also logically thinking go, who could it be? The old one that's been there the longest obviously has to be the changeling. And you're like, well, out in the sunlight, how could that? I don't care. They'll explain it some way, and they did. In fact, it was the old lady. So all that's really painfully predictable. The whole movie is, unfortunately. But the one thing that was cool that you only see coming about 30 seconds before it happens, which is good for this movie because most of the movie you see happen before you even sat down. But so to only guess it 30 seconds before it happened was so she finds out the truth about the old lady. I forget her name. Madeline? Was it Madeline?
Sure, why not?
Old lady. She finds out the truth about the old lady, so then goes to the house of girl number 2. I don't know anybody's name. And first of all, that girl's house is all glass. So they do a good job of making you think, oh, the old lady's gonna show up and start watching them from the outside. So you're kind of like stuck in that train of thought. So you don't realize it's a shapeshifter. It could be anybody, including that girl right there.
Yeah.
And so it kind of distracts you from that point until right before it happens, and you're like, "Oh, that was cool.
It
that was good.
definitely got me.
Yeah, that was good. That was like by far the best part of this movie, and it's frustrating that it happened so late into the movie, and then had to then devolve into, you're not evil, I know you're not,
Yeah, right.
There's good in you.
Literally immediately after she switched back or into whatever her form was.
Roxanne.
Yeah, no, it was, because like, what's the other girl's name?
Which one?
The black one?
No idea.
Kira, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna call her Kira. When Kira steps into
We have the internet. Kiara, you were close.
Damn.
Or Ciara, Kiara, one or the other. Kiara.
Maybe Sierra. Sierra.
Big C.
She steps in one door, right? And then if I remember the shot correctly, main character's in between her and the
this
changeling.
movie said fuck continuity.
Yeah,
many times.
And then she immediately just like ends up on the ceiling.
Yeah, she's
I swear
crawling on the
to
ceiling behind
God,
her.
it was
a second
another.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh shit, there's another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it was just her. She just ended up over there now.
Yeah, for
she
that brief moment, I was like, oh no. So she brought all of them here. She was like leading the way, and they're all here now.
That would have been interesting.
And then no, it was just continuity be damned. And it wasn't the first time, because we also made fun of. So okay, at one point, Danny,
Sure.
he's tying up old lady in the woods because he's kind of cracked. Honestly, accidentally was correct, because tie up the old lady would have been a good choice. So he's tying her up in the woods. The other two girls find them and go, what are you doing? And she goes, untie me, he's gone crazy, and he runs off. So then they are there. All three of the girls are there, untying her, and she's going, he's gone crazy, we need to stop him. And so then they go running off after him. Then old lady and main character end up at the door, literally run face first into it because they couldn't see it was closed, and start banging on it. Let us in, let us in. And then from the inside, Big C and Daniel are going, you're not coming in, let them in. And you're like, wait. You were with them. How was...
Listen, as we said, she runs really fast.
She's quite the speedster, I guess. I don't know. It just made no sense. The continuity never made sense in this movie. And so much, this is for the whole movie, so much is said and it doesn't matter. Like, there's rules you have to follow. Like, don't turn your back toward the mirror. That never once mattered at any point. And it's like, so why was that a rule? And I was like, you gotta always be entertaining. That apparently isn't a rule. You can just sit there doing nothing. That's entertaining. So a really good idea wasted on really having no idea what to do with it, apparently.
Hey, don't turn your back to them. Except for those times you turn your back to them.
Except for
isn't the door on the opposite side of the mirror?
No. The door, so this is a wall and then door over here. Huh?
Yeah, I guess on the side. I absolutely loved. Well, first off, there's.
I want to know what
They've been drawing a map on the ground.
Oh yeah.
For who knows how long.
And walking all over it.
And walking all over it, and it's been staying intact. Whatever. I don't really care about that.
Nobody dragged their feet, I guess.
They established guy's been there for 8 months, around.
Yeah, they don't know how long anybody's been there, but they're guessing.
Big C's been there around 5 months, she's guessing.
Yeah.
And we don't learn how long the main character stayed that whole time. But and through all the drawing of the map...
At least 2 seasons.
Yeah. Through all the drawing on the map that seems... Oh yeah, because the winter, yeah.
Yeah.
Through all the drawing on the map that seems like they're covering the entire floor, mostly. Yeah. There's a big rug in the center of the room that they don't move to make more map.
To be
and it's
fair,
the only
it was
rug spot.
Under the table.
I guess, but like...
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna leave that perfectly intact?
It is explained, but it was hilarious that the old lady was like, I had no idea that was there. Now, obviously, she's lying.
She's lying.
But it was hilarious. They're like, you've been here how long?
No, that's what I'm saying about the other people. No one has, like, touched this rug in 8 months.
Minimum, yeah.
You got this small-ass square room to go in. I get bored enough to just move the rug eventually. I don't know.
So decorate, put the table somewhere else. Clear out the area so you can do a bigger dance. I don't know.
I'm telling you, the map is so screwed up by this, whatever.
Also, speaking of performing, if she's into like wigs and acting, why did we never see her act or perform for the fucking
Yeah, she's by far the most boring of the little captives. But still, they go down into the...
Like, what? There was commentary to be had there. I swear there was.
Nah, they made the comments already. Come on. No more commentary.
It's enraging. Wasted. I think wasted potential annoys me more than just like a bad movie. If it was just a bad movie with nothing good going for it, you're just like, oh, haha,
Yeah.
stupid. Okay, this should have been good.
Yeah.
It should have been.
That's fair.
That annoys me.
But all right. So
Shut up.
they're about to open up the container. They're trying to run from them. All right. They've angered them for the last time, and they've discovered the basement, and they're about to open the hatch and get inside. But it's taking a while.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to figure out what to do before they find this, so they barricade the door. Now by this point, they had already angered them. They already shattered the glass.
Yeah.
Cracked it pretty heavily. And now that they've angered them this time, I guess the Watchers forgot about the glass. Because
they already forgot about it because they were one hit away from breaking through it.
Yeah.
A different night, and they went, oh!
No.
And stopped doing anything.
But fine. I accept it as they were angry and they decided, you know what, we'll let this go, and they stopped. Fine. But when they're hunting them down and they're at the door and they're just pounding the door and they're like, oh no, they're gonna break the door down. This door that's been your only protection this whole time. So you've trusted it this whole time with the 3 deadbolts. But oh no, they're gonna break it down now. Let's push the table in front. Hopefully they don't just go to the broken glass already and just, hit it that one last time.
Oh, no.
The entire group of them.
Yeah.
If they're not going to do that, maybe we'll have enough time to discover this basement area and get down there.
That was a cool scene.
And then they came in through the glass at the end.
It was a cool scene, though, in that, that's when... So, at this point, they've revealed what they are to an extent. I don't know if they've said fairies yet, but you know that they're shapeshifters that are mimicking people.
Yeah.
And so then, because now it's plot convenient, they can start going full force into that. And so they're, shouting from various people's voices. Like, you hear Dakota Fanning shout, the old lady shout, all of them shouting. That was cool. And so it's the only part of this movie that did work was those cool horror moments. And so that's where it's frustrating because, this movie is a horror movie. And you're telling me that the only good parts are the scary things. But then the movie sucked. And it's that's... I feel like that's the hardest part to nail of a scary movie, is something that's legitimately interesting and scary. And you got those parts down. But then it was just everything else you fucked up. And it's dialogue, to me, it really blows my mind. Because dialogue is just conversations. We have conversations every day. It shouldn't be hard to write. It's not. I've written scripts, and it's dialogue shouldn't be this hard.
Well, you see, that explains it. Do you talk to a parrot often? How do you write dialogue for a parrot if you don't have conversations with a parrot every day? It's difficult.
I just the exposition really bugged the fuck out of me, because it's if you're sitting there as a writer going, I need to get this information across. I get it. It's tough getting exposition out there. But it's it was just a first draft where I went, oh, we should say this. Oh, here's a better way to say it. Oh, here's an even better way to say it. Delete the other 2 ones then, because having it in the voicemail worked. Was it great? No, but I gave it a pass as I would in any other movie, where it's okay, having a voicemail from your sister go, it's been 15 years, get over it. It's a bit clunky, but it works.
Yeah.
Talking to yourself about it, dumb. Talking to a parrot about it, dumb.
Replaying the voicemail
again, 2 minutes later, dumb. So it really bugs me, because it's how, you came up with one decent way to do it. Why did you think you needed to do it 5 times?
We get it, 15 years.
15! We got it. Also, flashbacks. We didn't need anybody to exposition dump at all. There were flashbacks.
Oh, wait. She also broke it down to Danny that one time.
Yes! 15 years!
Let's talk about the parrot one more time. What a role for the parrots, all right? When you first see him, is he there to be the companion? Because she needs someone to talk to in this movie to not be...
He's a glorified MacGuffin.
Yeah?
But she never lets it out of the cage.
What they call the box again?
The coop.
Yeah, the coop. She takes the bird in the coop to the coop. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
and
then we're just gonna keep this bird caged up forever.
Yeah,
because
the whole time until they get downstairs and they learn.
Bring me my bird.
And they learn.
But no, they're climbing down the ladder. She's the first one. I'll go. My bird.
Yeah, bring me my bird. which seemed dumb, because why the fuck would you give her the bird at that point? But
we're all like, get down. They're about to get in any second.
Bring me my bird.
Bird me.
But clearly, she was the smartest one of all, because if they hadn't brought the bird down, as we now know from the guys from the professor's videotapes, they might not have survived, because the birds lead the way to the boats.
The spiders in Harry Potter.
Not the birds that they've been catching for food the whole time, and not the big flock that was seen at the beginning, but then was eventually seen later. No, the parrot she brought.
I think the flock was just every day at sundown. They went this way.
Okay, that's fine, but they didn't follow the flock at first. They followed the fucking parrot.
Yeah.
They just, it's like, follow the birds. Okay, parrot, lead the way.
Yeah. It also...
You know.
So, but my question, though, is, but why? Why do the birds just, this way?
I don't know. But at least they were in the area all the time. This fucking parrot is just, go, parrot.
Yeah.
Lead.
Can we talk about the professor, though? So the professor,
he was fucked up. This was funny.
He's obsessed with fairies.
Fairy godparents.
He's kind of like Artemis Fowl, actually. Now that I think about it, because he's like, I just want to go in my super secret base here, and I'll even sacrifice 13 men a day.
A day.
Jesus Christ, to watch them. Watch the Watchers, which other commentary we never bothered divulging into. It's like, who's the Watchers really? Is it the Watchers or is it that? Like, if they never actually called the fairies Watchers, then that could have been an interesting tidbit about the title. Who was the Watchers? Who was it really? Was it them? Was it us? Who is it? But anyway, so he's doing that. Then he's like, I want to fuck a fairy. And so he's training a fairy to be his dead wife, which is a thing. But also,
he can bring her back.
All of that is silly. All of that is plot. All of that's convenient. I accept it. But my biggest question is, you cannot, survive there for more than sun up to sundown, right? He built a bunker.
Yeah. Yep.
In one day?
Listen.
He built it in a day?
Listen.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but the bunker was.
Listen. We don't need to explain how the bunker got there. But 13 people a day built that above ground section. And that underground section, chalk it up to the military.
I can building the box in a day. Sure, it's a box in a day. Sure. The bunker? You need excavators to come in and dig that shit out. Then you need to lay cement. And you need to...
and remember...
put the dirt back. He didn't mention how many excavators he had every day.
No, that's what I'm saying. We got this...
Every day.
We have this intricate design, day by day, for the upstairs.
Every day.
But we don't need to talk about that.
They drove up new excavators, and every day the fairies dragged them down. Like, damn it. Gotta run to another one. Cat hates me.
But then where does he hide if there's snow downstairs? and
when Dakota Fanning goes down the hole, if she had just looked to the left, she would have seen 10 excavators, 2 bulldozers.
And also, before the old
Bobcat.
woman... before the older woman gave her explanation about how, like, they didn't like me. They called me...
Roxanne.
Yeah, they called me Roxanne and told me to put on the red lights. But when they were hiding, because like at one point they get stuck out in the woods and like they hide under some brush.
Yeah, if you've seen Lord of the Rings where the hobbits are under the thing and then that's what happened.
And I guess they hadn't been really looking for them at the time.
No, they were just there for the show. They were like, when do we watch it?
But that made me really start to think, maybe we could really just hide from these things. If they can't detect us right away.
Like, they don't smell you, they don't sense you, they're just there to watch.
It just very much seemed like we could probably hide if we just stayed still and quiet.
And then they all go like, oh, they're out here, let's go. And they all go in a million different directions. They immediately, I think they're like, gotta go run off into the woods and hide. No, they just run to the box.
Yeah.
And are banging on the door and
screaming
shouting.
at the top of their lungs again.
None of the fairies are going, You hear something?
Yeah, nobody stuck around. Nobody was searching close. Nobody stuck around. It's like, oh no,
Yet-
they must have been going to the boat.
Well, I guess that's their thing. Is they just, oh, they're not here, boat. Because they come out of their hole. They don't even check the box. They immediately just ran to the boat. And it's like,
Yeah.
how do you know
See, but
that there was a boat?
they had already broken the glass by then. Now, how do they know they got out of the bunker? I don't know, but they already knew there was a glass.
Yeah, they didn't
broken
go
glass by
tapping
then.
on that. Like, hey, you in there?
I guess
We
they,
miss you. Can you install a window so we can watch you? Unfortunately, the movie propped itself up to be deeper than anything Shyamalan had ever done, and it ended up being just as shallow as ever. And the more you ask questions, the dumber it gets. And it's frustrating because it should have been and could have been one of those movies that the more questions you ask, the better the movie gets. But no, it was the opposite. All right. Bye.
Hi. 5.
Subscribe. Shit, I don't know. Did you have closing thoughts? Nah, it's not good. It's not good. And it should have been better.
I had no expectations, and it's still a 5.
Fair enough. We're being shot at currently. Not really, it's fireworks. I don't know. Why fireworks?
Listen, it is a random Thursday. That is the perfect
In
reason.
June.
Don't need to be June.
Fireworks. Alright, let's get food and beer. The French.
Excellent.
Excellence. Yes.
Horse, please.